Okay, real quick, we're just going to do a quick one on area. There's two formulas for area. Area equals 1/2 AB sine C. There is a proof in your book if you want to see that. But that is just, it's pretty easy proof, but if you want to Google it or look at it, you can. But that's one area if you're given two sides and an included angle. If you're given all three sides, A, B, and C, you first have to find S. S is just 1/2 times the sum of A, B, and C. So it's kind of like the average, but you have to add up all three and then divide by 2. Once you find S, area is the square root of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C. So that's if you're given three sides. So I have two examples real quick. One is if you're given two sides and the included angle. The formula just says to find the area of that triangle, all you have to do is take 1/2 times A times B times the sine of C. And that's all you need to do. Just plug that in your calculator. So I will take 1/2 times 8 times 6 times the sine of 32. That's all I need to do to get my answer, and I get 12.72, depending on what they tell you to round to. That is the area. And if you had units, it would be square units. So like if they said it was in meters, you'd say it's square meters, because it is an area. It's the area of that triangle, the amount of space that that triangle is taking up. All right, and then if you have three sides, you first have to find S. So you take 1/2 times the sum of those numbers. Well, this one's pretty easy because that's 12 plus 4 is 16. Half of that would be 8. So S is 8. But again, you just throw it in your calculator. 1/2 times 4 plus 5 plus 7. That's S. So the area ends up being square root of S, which is 8, times S minus 4, because that's A, times S minus 5, because that's B, times S, somewhere in another room, minus C, which is 7. Now I don't need to see that particular. If you want to say right away that it's the square root of 8 times 4, if you want to put that, but I would like to see that step at least. So I know that you found A and that or S, and then I know that you've got S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. So if you want to show me that step, that's fine. Then give me what that answer is. Again, I don't need to see the rest of the work. This one, you could probably simplify a radical, but it's okay just to say, all right, I would probably just say, you can either take the square of all of that, or I would just take 8 times 4 times 3 times 1. I get 96. So really I have the square root of 96, so then I would take square root of my answer. And I get 9.797, so if I rounded that, that would be 9.80 if I went to the nearest hundredth. And again, that is in square units. So the area is pretty straightforward. You just have those two formulas you have to worry about. If you are given three sides, that's the formula you're going to use. And if you are given two sides and the included angle. These all are for non-right triangles. And again, if you want to look at the proofs are either in our book or you could Google them. I'm sure Khan Academy has some good videos on proving those, but lack of time, we're not going to really prove those. Just know that they exist, and which time, when do you use the first one and when do you use the second one, and then just make sure you're just plugging those in. So that assignment should be very, very easy. Still keep working on the worksheet that kind of put everything together. See how well you can do in that. Always keep in mind that law of sines does not find obtuse angles. You always got to keep that in mind. And then be working on the proof of the law of sines and cosines. I know that law of cosines is pretty, the law of sines is a little more scripted. The law of cosines, I just kind of gave you a little bit to work with. Just think about some of the things you know about that after you draw in your hypotenuse. I know you're going to struggle a little bit, and that's okay. On Monday, we'll talk about what things that you struggle with, and maybe I can give you a few hints then. So don't fret too much about that worksheet. Just make sure you've worked on the law of sines worksheet, the law of cosines worksheet, and then the putting it all together one that had different kinds of triangles on it, and then the area one. The area one should not take you too long. I know on the back there are also some problems that you might have some issues with, and let me just talk about that just real quick. When you have, let's say, a hexagon, which has 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you have to find the area of that. One of the things you're going to be looking at is the triangles that are formed. And what you need to realize is if this is a regular polygon, so if it's a regular 6-sided figure, there's 360 degrees in a circle. So if you were going to draw in all of these triangles, if I have 6 sides, I'm going to have 6 of them. And so each of these angles here will be the same measure. So if 360 degrees are in a circle, if I have 6 sides, I divide that by 6, each angle is 60 degrees. So that's going to help you find this angle here. Now you've got some other things to know. In a regular polygon, all those sides are the same. So if they give you the perimeter, you should know what each side is. Then you can maybe think about law of sines or cosines. You also know when I go to draw these in that this is an isosceles triangle. Now because this is 60, obviously this is an equilateral, so I kind of gave you one that would happen to be an equilateral. But no matter how many sides I have, this triangle would always be isosceles. If you know the perimeter, you should know what this side is. And because all of these triangles have to be the same, you should be able to take 360, divide by your number of sides to figure out what each angle is. And then that should be enough to start figuring out what is the angle. You know, you might have to use some other law of sines or cosines to find some missing pieces. But you should be able to figure out what the area of those little triangles are, and then you know you have 6 of them in this case. You know, maybe you want to draw down an altitude and think about that. You don't have to, but there's different ways you can break this up. And I'm kind of interested just to see what kinds of things you come up with. So try the back of that area sheet. If you struggle a little bit, shoot me some emails, and maybe I can throw some things on OneNote just to give you some hints if you need them. But I'd like to see how much of that you can do on your own, and then definitely shoot me emails. So I don't want you to sit and think you can't do these. So that's kind of a little bit of a hint on that back side of that. The front page should be very, very straightforward. So I think you'll be okay with those. But try the back. Let me know how it goes. Also, shoot me some emails of what you're thinking about the quiz. I have it scheduled for Monday, but if you feel like we need a review day, as long as I get some feedback and I see that you've been looking at the videos, then I can definitely push that back probably till Tuesday. So let me know how things are going. See you on Monday.